Hi! For hundreds of years, the world has been pretty much the same when it comes to newspaper publishing. But for the last 30 years, the development outside the industry has been moving with an accelerated pace. New media like the television, the radio and the internet has been taking the stage and has done so very fast. But the newspaper industry is basically doing the same things they did years ago. We're still producing the same newspaper in the same way, and we're still selling it to the same people via the same channels. I don't mean to be unfair, of course. There has been changes within the industry, but the changes are nothing compared to what's going on outside the industry. The newspaper industry has benefited from this new technology. Nearly all newspapers have an editorial system, and this has brought about huge savings. But what has been the focus of using this technology? As I see it, the main focus has been to save money. And why do we want to save money? Because we're losing market shares to the ones that uses the technology to earn money, like television, radio and the internet. Trust me, more media will come along and threaten us even more. So while every other business is using technology to gain market shares and to earn even more, the newspaper industry is using technology to try and save themselves from those who move forward. Does new technology mean more savings to you? Or does it mean more revenue? And how much can you save by using new technology? While the newspaper industry gets more and more readers on their websites, more and more potential buyers, they focus inwardly on what they can save, instead of focusing outwardly on what they can gain from this wealth in readers. When are we going to realize that having trouble in a time when there has never been so many potential customers out there, where the newspaper industry has never gotten so much attention, having trouble in a time where it's never been so easy to serve people and to add value via the new media, having trouble in a time like this is not okay. It's simply not good enough. The newspaper websites are some of the most popular websites in the world, but they're not making any real profit. Do you know who's making big money on the internet right now? Greeting cards! Yes! Digital greeting cards, much like the ones you send to your family every Christmas. Only this time they won't get a real card. They'll get a nice email with a funny picture in it. And this business, my friend, is making huge amounts of money right now. The only reason why I'm pointing this out to you is just to make you realize what enormous potential you have for making money on the internet. In the late 90s, we all thought the internet was the one thing to bet on. We all made big investments because we were sure that they would pay off. You know the story. If you can just get enough users to your website, you can make money, no problem. The internet was all about attracting as many eyeballs as possible by providing free information and services. And we all know how that business idea went. We fairly quickly realized that that was not a good business idea. And that hurt. The expectations to the internet dropped radically in the year of 2001, and we all pulled back our money and our investment. And this was our first and most devastating mistake. You know who just continued as if nothing had happened? There's one very large newspaper in Norway who didn't pull back, who just continued as if nothing had happened. And this particular newspaper is making over 100 million in revenue each year. Most newspapers experience a decline in circulation. We sell fewer and fewer newspapers. But the readership, the number of people who read the newspaper, hasn't declined equally. 50 to 75% of your online readers never reads or buys the printed paper. Many of these newspapers did a survey on their website asking their internet users whether or not they read the printed paper. And in all cases, on small newspapers, on larger newspapers, the response was 50 to 75% of their online users did not read or buy the printed paper. What does that tell us? That tells us that a lot of newspapers have actually experienced an explosive growth in the amount of readers they have. Some newspapers have nearly doubled the amount of readers. The leaders of the newspaper industry has to figure out what to do about these numbers and how to approach this opportunity for growth and prosperity. Creating the mental and technical foundation for building a successful internet business is crucial. It's not competencies, it's not value, it's not the good ideas we're missing, it's the foundation. Without the right foundation, nothing seems to work and nothing ever will. If you start building a house with no real foundation, you won't get very far. And the principles for building a successful internet business is completely different from anything we know. The key to internet success is knowing the mechanics of the internet and then to set up a foundation that will make the principles work for you. The leaders that know and understand this will be able to facilitate the necessary changes. Mark my words, no real outer change will happen until the leaders of the newspaper industry is mentally aligned with these principles.